All right, rise and grind, Airbnb family. It's time to get this money. Welcome back, Airbnb family. So, beautiful day in the neighborhood. I mean, it's gorgeous outside. And this is the first video I think I've ever done wearing sweatpants. I'm actually relaxing in my house for once. May not even leave. How strange is this shelter order in Dallas? But I want to show you something because it's important for you to understand what is working and what's not working. But we're going to focus on what's working right now because our calendar is surprising. I'll just say that to you. First, let me show you a screenshot of the calendar for the upcoming month. Okay, we'll start there. What I want to do is I want to show you my calendar for the last 2 weeks, the dates that are done and settled. What you're going to see is that the market is 13% occupied in any area that I have a property. So I have over 100 properties. Some of these are what we call Jack and Jill listings, where I've made another bigger listing that has 2 apartments attached together. So it's going to look inflated. It's going to say 132 listings, but we have about 100 of our own properties and then some that we manage for other people, but it's not 132. Some of these are duplicates, okay? So, and those ones are tending to go empty because all the smaller stuff is getting bookings. People aren't really booking larger stuff last minute. So just know that. But the industry right now, the market median is 13%. This is about a 8% drop from what's normal, actually. But going from, here's what I mean. Going from 21% down to 13% is an 8% drop in total occupancy, but that relative drop is actually like almost like a 30% drop or over 30%, right? So the market's down 30 to 40% over the next month, 8% total drop in occupancy. We are 2% above market occupancy on average. We're actually doing worse a month from now than everybody, but we're doing better than everybody, 4 days from now or less. So 2% of 13%, we're looking at we're doing 18% better than the market everywhere over the next 30 days in total. So now this may not seem wicked, but what I'm about to show you these last 2 weeks and kind of how we've done these last 2 weeks, it's going to freak you out. And I want to give a disclaimer here because I cannot help everybody. Sadly, there are countries that are in complete lockdown. I'm not in those countries, so I haven't been forced to fight my way through it. If there is a way at all, there very well could be no way to get new bookings from the locals or I would try everything I possibly could. I would burn my brain to death to try to find a solution if I was there. Since I'm not, for those of you who cannot benefit from this specific video because you're on lockdown, I'm super sorry. But hopefully there's something you can learn here to apply in a later situation that's not so grim. So for those of you in countries that still have some semblance of a chance to get bookings, I'm in Houston, Dallas, Fort Worth, Philadelphia. Okay, so all US. There are some countries overseas that can still get bookings too. So keep tuning in, you US players in the game. This is good. This is aimed pretty much directly at you. So let's go look at some screenshots. And then I'm going to show you proof that this is not Photoshopped. I think that's one of the biggest things here. You guys are going to say this has definitely got to be Photoshopped because it's impossible, and it's not Photoshopped. So let's look at the past 2 weeks for the entire portfolio. The past 2 weeks for the entire portfolio, I am 86% occupied from March 10th to March 23rd, where the market is 43% occupied. That's right, I am twice as full as everybody else in all of my neighborhoods, twice as full, and I missed 100% occupancy by 14%. You can see actually coming into March 14th, we were riding in the 94 to 96% occupancy range, and then it started to dip because of the cancellation apocalypse here. So break these down city by city. Fort Worth, we're 78% occupied. You could see that the 15th was the day that we got our butts kicked the absolute most, and we started to try to find a solution. So we are 78% occupied when everyone else is 27% occupied. Next up, you're going to see that's actually Fort Worth. I zoomed out just to try to help show that this wasn't Photoshopped. Philadelphia, we are 94% occupied, where everybody else is 44% occupied. So we've been repricing our listings, finding out exactly what price point works, and then getting filled up. And we're also taking direct bookings, doing whatever we can to fill up our spaces. So we're doing pretty good there. We're not getting the prices we want, but getting a price is better than no price. And Houston, we are 74% occupied, where the rest of the market is 34% occupied. This is our worst market right now. Houston is the one that we're getting our butts kicked, because you can see over the last 8 days, we have days where we're only 52% occupied in our entire portfolio, where the rest of the market is, respectively 34% occupied. This is our hardest market. We're still trying to find a way to fill up our Houston properties, because obviously, there's a lot of room to improve here through this. But that is our worst market, is Houston so far. And then Dallas. Dallas, we have average of 90% occupancy, where everybody else has 50% occupancy. Dallas has been good. It's been the market that we get the most money per night also, where other markets we're getting less per night. Like I said in a previous video, we're getting 75 a night in Dallas, we're getting 70 a night in Philadelphia, and we're getting about 50, 55 a night in Houston. And in Houston, we're still not getting all the way booked, like I said. In Fort Worth, it's such a small number of listings that I don't have it off the top of my head, but it can be like $50 sometimes, it can be $65 other times. So I don't have a definitive flat number that we always get booked at. But so now, let me just run this video to show you that this isn't Photoshop, and I'm going to tell you how we did it. Photoshop. This is a real coffee, real life coffee. That's my occupancy percentage for 2 weeks, pretty much. As you see, we have suffered a loss of occupancy in general. We're at 86% across all of our listings. And let me reload this just so you can see. See? Now, this is the average occupancy across the country right now for the upcoming 2 months. I'm gonna go back in and give you these dates for all past dates, and see, there we are again. Now, what I'd like to do is point you to one thing that I want you guys to know. I achieve this at the end of the day. I don't achieve this a month from now. So look, this is end of March here, coming into April, right? That's April 23rd, so that's the month. So we are not occupied any more than the rest of you, but what we've got here is we've got the next 3, 4, 5 days booked, because we are adjusting our rates appropriately. So over the next 30 days, we're not doing better than any of you guys, but we are getting there today. That's the point. This is where you need to be. Ignore all this. Don't let this scare you. This is the only number that matters. As you can see, this is live on Airbnb right now. And what we are doing from that very first photo, the very first screenshot, and at the end of this video, let me show that again. The next 4 days, we are starting to pick up occupancy, because we are responding to the market and what our personal occupancy numbers are. We are responding to market forces, looking at supply and demand objectively, and we are making moves. Pricing strategy has always been the point. It's always been the name of the game here. Now, there are other things that you can do. The video tonight, if you watch the video that we're going to publish tonight, I'm cold calling businesses, and I'm getting orders from businesses to fill up Airbnb spaces around the country, not just my own, but we're making phone calls to get Airbnbs full. So if you want to know like how that went, it's the first time I've ever done cold calls, and it was quite an adventure. So stay tuned for tonight's video on my live sales calls that I did. I recorded myself live. With that said, the solutions that you need, like if you want to survive, like I'm doing, it's a grind. I'm updating my prices 3 times a day. My pricing strategy in majority is on YouTube here. We've got a pricing strategy playlist, and I'm going to link that in the description of this video. And I also have a course that's typically like $350, but money's tight right now, the way our bank accounts are set up. So what I told our editor to do is to release the course for a prepayment of $50. So you guys can have our entire pricing strategy course, which includes my rule sets, which I'm using a lot here. If I go into my multi-calendar, let's see if I can show you a screenshot of that. Rule sets are a big part of my pricing strategy, and that's not published on the YouTube channel, but it is in the course. So I do truly believe that you guys need to, even if you only use my free content, you guys need to really take your pricing strategy and your revenue management seriously. So if you want to get heavy serious and dive in, you can start with the free playlist, and you can get the course for $50. and you can pay me the rest later is the goal here. So there's going to be a link in the description for that too. But those of you in the States, there's opportunity here. It's possible to get full. For those of you who are not in the States, I did a previous video on how people can help you guys. We just need to really push that idea. People are doing it. People are giving away their travel credits. One thing to be careful of in the UK, they're trying to swap travel credits. Like hosts are trying to give each other those travel credits, and Airbnb is zeroing them out. So hosts in the UK, give somebody a travel credit and let their reservation complete, and then they can give a travel credit to somebody, let their reservation complete. But I really urge you all, guys, give your travel credits to those most in need. I mean, there's people in Italy and China and all sorts of countries that have just been completely wiped. But I know rent's expensive in the UK, in London too, I'm sure. So I'm sure some of you guys really need the help. But in that past video, let me link that video too. There's people in the comments explaining the situation. There's people in Spain, there's people in China, there's people in the Philippines that are just getting their butts kicked. So if you've got travel credits to give to help float some hosts through this on Airbnb's dollar, just donate your travel credit to somebody. Now, if you don't have a travel credit, but you know you're going to be traveling in the future, just tell people, hey, I'm going to be traveling next year. I like your place. I plan on booking from you next year. So let me book a day from you today. And that way I can get your personal information and we can book direct in the future. You'll save so much money by not paying Airbnb service fees or Booking.com service fees that one day you donated today, you're going to get back twofold in a discount by not paying fees by going direct with that person. So you can save money by donating to somebody today. That's huge. That's how we can help everybody in countries that I can't reach, that I can't understand how to fill up their calendars. This is a way that we can do it. Plan your travel trip next year. Plan your travel trip for the fall right now, and then go reach through that computer and bless somebody with like $50 or $70. And your travel trip, if you actually do like big trips, you could pay $1,000 on Airbnbs over the course of a week or so. And so your service fees and taxes alone will be $200, $300 on top, right? So by giving somebody $50 or $70, it's going to come back. Karma will come back in very literal ones and zeros. So thank you for watching this video. Stay tuned for my cold call video. We are going to be dialing some phones and finding new ways to fill up our Airbnbs. Thanks for being here. I wish you all the best. Stay strong, stay prosperous, and I'll see you on the other side.